Why I live where I live. Because, to me, it has always looked like what cities are supposed to look like silhouette architecture in funny papers, Moon Mullins's downtown, Crazy Cats, a warehouse style, a wholesale modality, the furrier's provenance, the jeweler's, gilt lettering in upper-story windows, and brick from the golden age of brick so high it could be the dumping ground of brick, stacked as counter on a wondrous roll. And because grand juries seem as if they would meet here, returning true bills, parsing corruption, racketeers whose rackets are old-timey and flagrant and tinged with muscle, teamster stuff, laundry trucks that don't leave the garage, taxis crippled and tampered axles under the trucks that bring the milk, the bread, the paper, vending machine brutalities, soft drink killings. And because I'm an American of the vaguely professional class, a tenured academic, the least mobile of men, and you live where they ask you in this business and get maybe 2 or 3 solid offers in a working lifetime, and because I've been luckier than most, or less brave perhaps, and have only received 1, 2, if you count the feeler, pursued half-heartedly on both our parts, from the University of California in Santa Barbara 13 years ago. And we tried it for a summer and didn't much like it. My wife because it made her nervous to go for bread at 80 miles an hour, and me because, as I say, I'm not brave, and didn't know if I'd like my friends. Which is really why I live where I live. I live in University City, Missouri, a block from the St. Louis city limits. The city of St. Louis is self-contained as an island, exists in no county, is, in a way, a kind of territory, a sort of D.C., a sort of canal zone, gerrymandered as Yugoslavia, its limits fixed years ago, before the fact, staked out, one would guess, by a form of sortilege, a casting, say, of vacant lots, working farms, and 19 miles of the Mississippi River into the equation, the surveyor's sticks and levels and measures doing this tattoo of the possible, of the one day could be, shaping a town like a stomach, stuffing it with ellipses, diagonals, the narrows of neighborhood. University City is not so much a suburb as St. Louis's logical western addendum. There are over 90 incorporated municipalities surrounding St. Louis, closing it off like manifest destiny, filling it in like some jigsaw of the irrefutable, Mondrian zones and squares like a budgeted geometry. And I live where I live because of the civilization here. On the 3rd Tuesday of every month, there is a salon at the home of Eli and Lee Robbins. The Insight lady is there. I shall not blow her cover here, but can tell you that she is a heroine of song and story, prose and poetry, and, like her husband, you couldn't drag her name from me. The older man and downtown lawyer, Albert Lebowitz, a native. Putting out her insights like hair or fingernail. Deans are there. Chairman of departments and street clothes. It's all very brilliant. Eli's spread, both he and his wife are scientists, but the money is Texas, is smaller, I think, than the palace at Versailles, but much grander than Madame Recamier's. And because, like me, he is a multiple sclerotic, much of the house is tricked out in the customized hardware of the handicapped. All the expensive gimcrackery of safety, stands of parallel bars like private roads, handles that bloom from the doorways like a steel ivy, cunning chair lifts like an indoor aspen. Eli's electric cart, Eli's motor pool. We gather on these 3rd Tuesdays in the smaller of the 2 living rooms. The library, really, but with its phones hard by the furniture. I want to sit on the leather chair and call the couch. It could be some plush boiler room operation. There are discrete files, the latest in dictating equipment, everything state-of-the-art, everything convenient. And for dark reasons, I am at home in this house. I'm crippled, too. And once a month, at the Robbinses, I feel free to go public, to clumsy my coffee on the furniture, to crumb the carpet and ash my neighbors as myself, but chiefly to talk, at the top of my voice, at the top of my form, vicious, a gossip, clever as a fag, with, to save me, only this, that I am never the hero of my anecdotes, but always, I'm crippled too, the fall guy, whiner, take all. On New Year's Eve of 1963, before Eli's disease, before my own, Joan and I were invited to a party at the Robbinses. I had not really known about them, that they lived in a house as big as all outdoors. I had assumed what I assume about everyone I meet, that their backgrounds are the same as mine, that we drive the same cars, get the same miles per gallon, earn the same salaries, and blue is our favorite color, that we're all each other's doppelgangers. How otherwise could we meet in this life? That we all serve the same conditions, that we share the world like weather. The main party was going on in the larger of the living rooms, a room like a grand salon on an ocean liner. And though there might have been 100 people in it, I swear to you, it looked empty. We left just after midnight, and outside our third-floor walk-up loop apartment building, I kicked dents in the door of our '62 Chevrolet Biscayne. I ripped the ring off the steering wheel. I rent my clothes like an Orthodox. Why not? This was grief. This was grief, too. It was years before we went back, when we owned our own home, when disease had collateralized us, when demyelination had doppelganged us again. And this is the point, I think. I live where I live for the odd safety there really is in numbers. Are the crippled as comfortable in Santa Barbara? Could I aspire to Eli Robbins's fail-safe gewgaws, his remote control life, his disease? Could I aspire to Eli Robbins's fail-safe gewgaws, his remote control life, his disease's nifty setup like a model railroader's? I have been keeping track now since the first third Tuesday, and have never seen the same hors d'oeuvre twice. And that's another thing about St. Louis, about University City. It's the hors d'oeuvre hub and honeypot of the world. It's quiche capital. The deli is lousy, and the entrees only middling. I mean its steaks and roasts, its chops and chickens. But there are knives, forks, and spoons, stars in its appetizers, and something in its soups to float your heart. It could be the water. Nowhere I have ever been is it softer. In the shower, soap comes apart in your hands. It lathers like spindrift, froths and foams like the trick floors of discos. You're clean 5 to 10 minutes sooner than you are in New York or California. There is, I think, an appetizer vision, the aperitif heart, something in the soul or character that bumps up hunger without the means or even desire to satisfy it, a teaser temperament, Vorspeise, forsooth, foreplay forever. All I know is that I love that hour to hour and a half before we go into dinner,